the best of us. So I dance the night away when nobody's awake.
Good afternoon, good morning. Hello, everyone. It's Dr. Tyra coming to you live with Tyra's Just Saying. And today I have the prestigious honor to be interviewing Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. She is the president and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute, which is a premier personal and professional development organization committed to empowering women, particularly those in leadership and female veterans, to unlock their full potential and achieve lasting success. Founded by Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, Executive Women's Success Institute was established to address the distinct challenges professional women and transitioning female service members often encounter as they navigate career advancement and personal fulfillment through strategic coaching, leadership training, and supportive network. The Institute equips women to lead with confidence, clarity, and purpose. Everyone, welcome, 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 Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me today on your platform. It is a pleasure to be here and to meet you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure also. I was so excited when I saw, learned about your institute and saw all of the wealth of experience, the experience that you have. I was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to learn about all of the things that you have that you're working on, especially your signature frameworks. I mean, you are doing it, Dr. Lewis. So
Well,
what made you
out there. We have to get out there and help these ladies out. And that's mainly what I try to do. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And so what made you decide to go into develop this institute, the Success Institute for Women?
Wow. Now that's a story in itself. When I
Mhm,
was actually when I was in the military,
mhm,
I was I was mainly in male dominated units, but
mhm.
I was getting promoted. And so
Okay.
I started having women coming to me and they wanted to know, well, how are you getting these promotions? Can you look at my packet to
Mhm,
see, what I need to do? And then when
mhm,
I got out of the military and I went into corporate and also federal government, the same
mhm,
thing happened. I was, once I got into the organization, I was being
mhm,
promoted. And again, I started getting women coming to me wanting to know, well, how are you doing this? How are you managing to get these promotions? And what I
mhm,
realized was that there weren't a lot of women helping other women to move up the career ladder. And
mhm,
they were asking me, to help them with mock interviews, like I
mhm,
said, look at their promotion packets, their
mhm,
resumes. So I thought, well, if that's a need, why not do it on a larger scale? And so that's what, caused me to create my business so that I could
mhm,
help more women to do what they needed to do. Those women
mhm,
that felt like they were stuck in a position and couldn't figure out how to get from point A to point B. And so
mhm.
that's how the business was born. Just because of, like I always say, you never know who's watching you. And because
Right.
people were watching me,
Mhm,
do what I was doing, they
mhm,
wanted to know how I was doing it. So now I try to show as many women as I can how they
mhm,
can do what I was doing and maybe do it even better. Yeah.
mhm. I love that. I know you spent 22 years in the U.S. Army, retiring at the rank of Sergeant Major.
Mhm.
How did the military discipline and service shape the way you now coach civilian executives?
Well, I tell you what, being in the military, as you know, is real structured.
Mhm,
Everything you do is structured. You get up at a certain time, you go to PT at a certain time, you go to
mhm.
eat at a certain time. So everything is structured. There's
Right.
no you can just go off and do what you want to do unless you're on your own time.
Mhm,
And even then, you still can't if you're a part of the military. But
right.
what I try to do, and from what I got from the military, is one of the things I always keep in mind is the motto of lead, follow, or get out of the way. Okay.
Mhm.
And so if you want to be a leader, you have to learn to be a leader, but you also have to remember that people are behind you. And so you have to remember that those people that's behind you, you have to train them well enough to be able to take your position so that you can move up to the next position.
Mhm.
So because of that, that's what the military taught me. You know, like I said, the discipline, because my thing is, if you set a time for something and you have an appointment, then you need to be at that appointment on time. You
Mhm.
know, you don't come straggling in there late. If you know that that you're in a city where there's a lot of traffic, then you give yourself enough time to be there. It's all about discipline, it's all about commitment, and it's all about showing up in excellence. And so that's what the military, I think, showed me a lot of. And of course, growing up, I had these values placed in me too. You know,
Mhm.
that don't. My mother always said, when you go up, you always pull somebody else up with you. So I also had that part coming into play too. But the military, like I said, the structure, when you look at that, it's like that's how I try to base the coaching on, letting women know that just because you're in a leadership role
Mhm.
doesn't mean that you look at the person that's, you're over, that you
Right.
look at them as being beneath you, because
Mhm.
they're not. You look at them as being a potential person that you can train well enough, like I said, to take your position so you can move up to the next position.
Right. But you know what? There's so many people out there that is so afraid of training the next person because
Mhm.
in their mindset, they like, oh my God, I train them and then I'm out the door. And it's being
Exactly.
able to instill in them, like, no,
Hmm.
you need to understand that that's not necessarily what's going to take place.
Exactly.
It,
Exactly.
I
It's
think that's a
it's,
big fear.
especially women, and that's the part
Hmm.
that I saw a lot of, because one of the things I did, especially with my
Hmm.
program, the 8 Habits of Highly Successful Women, I
Hmm.
created that program because I did research. I interviewed 20 women in and around the Washington D.C. area who was in high executive level positions, because I wanted
Okay.
to find out how they got there, how they
Hmm.
stay there, and the obstacles they face while in those positions. And
Okay.
believe it or not, a lot of them felt like once they got to a certain level, they didn't feel that they could give too much attention to other women because it would look like they were being too biased. Well, here's
Mhm.
the thing about that: men
Right.
don't have that problem.
Mhm.
Men could not like each other, but when it comes to promoting each other, they will
Mhm.
promote that man, but not a female won't do that. And that's the mentality we have to get
Mhm.
over. We have to come out of that and
Right.
remember that we are supposed to help others, especially the females, up, because
Mhm.
females run into so many obstacles in the
Right.
workplace and in business. So you
Mhm.
have to support, you have to have that support system, that network where you really, really
Mhm.
want to support and help them to reach that next level.
Right. And I think that happens because men, right? Men, they look at the big picture and they see like I might hate your guts, but
Hmm.
I know you're a quality worker.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's when they go ahead and they lift those men up.
Exactly.
And women, well, sometimes we be like, I hate your guts, and I'm not bringing you along
Yeah,
just
and I
because.
know you're trying to take my job. Well,
Right. It is.
it's like, come on. No, that's not the way you're supposed to look at it. But that's,
Right. It's just looking at the big picture,
yep.
just getting into the mindset and understanding
Mhm.
business is business. And I
Business
think
is
when it
business.
comes to we as women, we sometimes struggle with the whole keeping business and personal separate.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
That's a big problem.
And it's so unfortunate because
Mhm.
when you think about it, a lot of organizations, and even with the all the stuff with the DEI and everything like that, but what
Mhm.
people don't look at is when you have a diverse group of people around the table,
Mhm.
then you get a different set of ideas. You get that a different structure for that organizations. And I
Mhm.
mean, if you just have the same people looking the same way, sitting at the table making the decisions,
Right.
then nothing's ever going to change. Nothing
True.
will change. And so
True.
that's, even that's why when you say that there are not a lot of women sitting at the table, it's because sometimes we don't have a lot of women helping them get to that table.
And that's a
So
fact.
we have to learn that we need that diversity at the table. We need more women to sit there making those decisions that
Mhm.
some of the men are making,
Right.
that's not really helping us, but
Right.
it's helping them more than it's helping us.
Right.
So that's like you say, look at the big picture. And the big picture
Mhm.
is that you need a diverse group to be at that table so that those decisions, the company, the
Mhm.
organization can
Mhm.
move properly and
Right.
represent everybody that's, they serve for the most
Right.
part.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's really something. And I
Mhm.
guess if we can get people to shift their mindset a little bit more,
There you go.
things would be a whole lot better.
Absolutely.
A
Absolutely.
whole lot better.
Yeah.
Your online program, Crack the Career Code,
Uh-huh.
unlock the amazing power within to lead with confidence, charisma, and credibility. I
Mhm.
love all the C's, right? Promises a fast track to executive roles. What sparked the creation of that curriculum, and what results still surprises you when alumni report back?
Well, the same thing. It's going through the course and understanding how, if you want to be in a leadership role, or if you're
Hmm.
in a leadership role, how to effectively navigate some of the obstacles that you're going to face. And
Hmm.
that's why I created it, because again, especially if you're in the workplace, and women too in business, but in the
Hmm.
workplace especially, women face a lot of obstacles. And another thing is they get stuck in a position, and it's like, well, I've been here for 10 years, or I've been here, for 5 years, and I'm not moving. Well, what are you doing? Because keep in mind, it's not the responsibility of the organization to promote you. It's your responsibility to make yourself visible, have the
Hmm.
skills that you need, and to speak up so that you can get to that next level also. And sometimes we have a habit of shrinking back, letting other people take our ideas. We'll sit in a
Hmm.
meeting and say something. If somebody talk over us, we just, okay. And
Let
they
it
say
go.
the same thing we're about to say, but we didn't say
Hmm.
it because somebody interrupted us. Well, no.
Hmm.
If you know you have the skills, if you know that you have that ability, the
Right.
capabilities to do it, then speak up and let them know that I know that I know that I know that I know. And
Right.
so, and that's what it's all about. That's why I created, to give women the confidence to be able to, when you walk into a room, don't take the seat in the back. Go
Hmm.
up front and
Hmm.
let them know that you're there. Be visible, you
Right.
know?
And that's the thing. A lot of women, don't want to be visible. They want to take the seat in the back because they don't want to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is being able to give them that confidence, help them gain the confidence,
The
right?
confidence.
Because we can't put the confidence on them. This
Right.
has to be something that they have to want to change. They have to
Exactly.
want to work hard
Hmm.
to establish these
Hmm.
feelings, where they boost their self-esteem up,
Yes.
and use all the tools that you provide in your training programs
And
to
there's
help them
nothing
get to
wrong
where
with
they need to
tooting your
be.
own horn. That's what
Hmm.
I tell you. It
Hmm.
is nothing wrong with tooting your own horn. It's
Right.
not arrogance. It's
Right.
about letting people know that you do have the
Hmm.
capabilities to
Hmm.
run a project, to run
Right.
an organization, to run a committee, whatever it
Hmm.
is. It's about letting them know that you do have the skills to do that.
Hmm. Hmm. I love it. I love it. When I seen that program, I'm just like, wow. I was like, Dr. Lewis is coming with these strong programs to help these folks out here on these streets. And so, with your company, you consult for both federal agencies as well as Fortune 500 firms.
Hmm.
Where
Hmm.
are organizations actually getting succession planning for women right, and where are they stumbling?
Well, for one thing, again, like I said, the stumbling part comes
Hmm.
with the fact that a lot of times they won't recognize women as being having that expertise to be able to lend, their skills to the makeup of the organization. A lot
Hmm.
of times when I go in, that's the first thing I want to see. I want to talk to the leadership and how they're handling things. Actually, I want to see the leadership.
Okay.
Who's in leadership?
Hmm.
What is the makeup, the top hierarchy? What's the makeup?
Hmm.
And then find out how, as the leaders, how are they treating the people that are, that layer? How are they
Hmm.
treating them? What are some of the things they're doing? What are some of the things they're implementing? How are they letting the employees know that they appreciate them and what they do? It's all about, yes, the company has to make their quota, have to make their numbers, their revenue, or what
Hmm.
have you. But
Right.
remember, if I'm not sitting there helping you do that,
Hmm.
then you're not going to make it anyway. So how
Right.
are you treating me? On a daily basis. How am I going home feeling like as soon as I open the door, my brain is just so fried that,
Hmm.
like, the mental part, that's where
Right.
that mental part come in. Do I just,
Hmm.
the next day I'm dreading the next day?
Hmm.
Do I want to get up the next day and go to work? I mean, because if I'm feeling like that, then there's something wrong with that picture.
Right. Right.
There's something wrong. So, when I look at those kind of things, it's
Hmm.
it's what it's why I do what I do. Because
Hmm.
organizations, again, when they want an assessment, then sometimes you're not going to like
The
how that
results.
assessment is going to
You
look.
don't like the results,
You're not
you
going to like
know,
those,
because that's that truth that a lot of people don't want to
they
face,
don't
especially when it
want.
comes to their companies.
Exactly. Exactly. And you believe it or not, it's the ones that when they do ask for an assessment, it's the ones that
Hmm.
really want to make things work a lot of
Okay.
times. And
Hmm.
then when they do have to make some pivots, a pivot or two, then
Hmm.
they're willing to do that. But then you have
Okay.
the ones that look at it and go, "No, I don't see that.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
just don't see it." Well, then I don't know what else to tell you. I've given you the A, the B's, and the C's. So
Right.
I don't know what else to tell you. But
Hmm.
if you want to, your employees, or you want to know why the morale is not there, you want to know why,
Hmm.
you come in sometimes and a lot of people have taken off, or they're not there because of whatever
Hmm.
reason, calling in slick leave and all of this stuff.
You said slick leave. I love it. I love it. Not the sick leave, but the slick leave.
So, and you're trying to figure out, well, what's going on. Well, that is what's going on. They don't want to be there because they don't feel like they're appreciated. They're not being
Hmm.
treated fairly, and you're not looking at what they bring to the table.
Right. 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 That is so funny. Because the thing is, this is all the stuff that we see happening, and it's like if more companies, more organizations start hiring people like you to come in
Mhm,
to evaluate. And I'm gonna say I used to work in the healthcare system in numerous hospitals, right?
mhm.
They need it. They need people to come in and check out, because when you look at it, the morale in those places is not nowhere near where it
Yeah.
should be. You know
I'm
what I mean? And a lot of times they try to blame it on, oh well, it's the patients, it's this, is that. Mm-mm, not all the time is not the patients. The majority of the time is the staff, is the people that they're working with that's causing all of the drama, you
exactly.
know? And so, what's your go-to script for initiating a salary equity conversation without triggering backlash? Because I know that is something that, where companies be like, huh? Where did that come from?
Well, especially for women, I would say when
Hmm.
you go in and to talk about salary to negotiate, you have to really know what your value and your worth is. Because
Hmm.
if you are unsure of it, if you're not confident in it, it's like
Hmm.
sort of like, I don't know if you've ever seen the little, and I love it, the little they have this little character that's always on Facebook. I think her name is Veronica,
Mhm.
And she went in for her interview one time, and the lady was saying, "Oh, you got everything we need. You got this, you got that, and you even speak all these different languages, and we're
Mhm.
definitely gonna need that." And so when the lady said to her what the salary was, she says,
Mhm.
"Well, oh, and when she, because she mentioned about the girl spoke all these different languages. I think she spoke something like 3 or 4 different languages. And she
Mhm.
tells her, she says, and we're definitely going to need that. So we hope that you'll be willing to do that. And she's like, yeah, I'm willing. She says, so is that going to be
Mhm.
extra compared to my salary, since that's a
Right.
skill, an extra skill? And so the lady says, well, no, we look at that as you being a team player, and that that you would want to just do that. She says, so she asked the lady, she says, well, let me ask you this. What do you all do, since you don't have a translator? What do
Mhm.
you all do when you need a translator? She says, oh, well, we hired this company to come in and just do it for the time being. She says, so rather than have someone who's in-house that you can use anytime you need them, you
Mhm.
would prefer not to pay me the salary I'm asking you for, but to hire someone that's not even a
Mhm.
part of the organization. So the my point that I'm making is that she was able to sit there confidently and
Mhm.
tell this lady this, because she
Mhm.
knew her worth and she knew her value. So she's finally
Mhm.
said, she says, well, I tell you what, don't add that part to my job duties. She says,
Right.
because if I'm not going to get the extra for when I come in and do the translation, she
Mhm.
says, then don't add that. And so the lady was like, she couldn't believe it.
She was
But
flabbergasted. Could
yeah,
not believe.
again, this young lady knew what her value was and her
Mhm.
worth was. So if you're going to
Mhm.
use those skills,
Right.
that's extra from what
Mhm.
job duties really called for, then
Mhm.
I think that you should compensate me extra for that.
Right.
But she sat there and hadn't said anything, and just
Mhm.
say, okay, well, I'll just go with the salary you just quoted me. Then they would have hired her under that salary, expecting
And
her
added all that information on. Yep.
in there.
And
Exactly. So
was, you know
again,
what? It
when you
was.
go in to
Mhm.
negotiate, you have to
Mhm.
know your value, you have to know
Mhm.
your worth, and you have to be willing to stand on that and
Mhm.
let them know, okay, well, this is what I'm expecting, you
Mhm.
know. Mhm.
Mhm.
Because
You're
if you
right.
got those skills, another company out there will
Mhm.
offer you the salary that you want.
Right, right. And you know what's really crazy about that, Dr. Lewis? I
Mhm,
remember when I was working at the one of the hospitals,
mhm,
and my coworker is fluent in sign language. His
mhm,
mother is deaf.
mhm,
So every time somebody would come in who was deaf, they would
mhm.
call him, right? And so when he went to go negotiate his money, right?
Mhm.
Because he's just like, wait a minute, I'm
Yeah,
not going to be doing this. You know what they
exactly.
told him? They
Mhm.
told him, oh, we need you to go get certified.
Yeah. See?
He certified in what? And they
Mhm.
was like certified in sign language. You have to get your certification in it.
And
And
they
this lady, he said, okay, so he went and he got it. They still didn't.
wouldn't
It
do it.
was still wouldn't do it. And it was just like, you know what? Mm-mm, mm-mm. You
That
know,
falls under capable but not promotable. And
right.
that's what I tell women to watch out for too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if
Mm-hmm.
they're always calling on you for this expertise in this area,
Mm-hmm.
but when it comes time to be promoted, all of a sudden they tell you, well, you
Mm-hmm.
don't have the skill to do such and such. Oh, wait a minute.
Right.
And that's when you have to remember, that's why I say, when you're in an organization, especially career wise, you have to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you own your own career and remember that you're responsible for it. So you have
Yes.
to make sure that you know what your skills are, what
Mm-hmm.
the value is of you speaking 3
Right.
languages. You have to
Mm-hmm.
know that, so that
Right.
when you go to the table, you can tell
Mm-hmm.
them, hey, if this is what this is worth. And
Right.
if it's not, and believe you me, most companies are not going to tell you, okay, well, I'm going to have to let you go because if you don't want to, you know
Mm-hmm.
do this.
Right.
But again, you have to be confident in what you do. You have to have key records. You have to make sure
Mhm.
that you stay visible. You have to
Right.
make sure that if they make you the go-to person for whatever expert it is, don't be the
Mm-hmm.
go-to person that's capable but not promotable. You have
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that you keep yourself visible. You have to make sure, and another important thing is networking, to that you network in that organization. So you
Hmm.
have people that you know, but people that also know you and know what your worth is, and that will speak up and stand up for you too.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's definitely, information that everybody can use, out there, because I think a lot of people, they think they know how to negotiate and they really don't,
No.
and it's just like, and they look up and they get so comfortable in the places that they're in
Right.
that they don't know that, okay, it's time. It's your time to level up.
Right.
And now you need to start,
Yeah.
searching for the tools to
And have your
do
own
what you need to
file,
do.
because keep it,
Yes.
supervisors keep files on you. So you
Hmm.
have your file too. So when you
Yes.
walk, you should never walk into a review and not have your own paperwork,
Hmm.
not
Right.
have your own file where you can open up and say, oh, well, here's the project that I worked on such and such a time, and
Hmm.
here's what was said about it. I even got
Hmm.
an award for it, or I
Right.
got recognition, a recognition letter for it.
Hmm.
So you're telling me I'm not capable of doing this?
Right. Right. Hmm.
You know,
Right.
so and
And they
even
quick to tell you what you're not capable of doing.
yeah, and also take always never, and I always said never, the military tells you you never show up for a meeting without a pen and a pad. And that should
Hmm.
be anytime you sit down to speak
Hmm.
with anyone. You always take
Hmm.
notes so that you can refer back. Oh, well, this is what you said on this day here. Did
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
misunderstand you? You
Hmm.
know, because it's hard for people to say, if you can say on July 31st, this is what you told me at 8 a.m. in our
Hmm.
meeting, it's hard
Hmm.
for them to refute that.
Right. Hmm.
You know, I'm big at taking notes. If I call somebody, even if I'm calling about, something I'm trying to get resolved, I want to know the person's name I'm speaking to and everything. And
Look, that's me too.
when we get off the phone, in my calendar, their name, the time we
Hmm.
spoke, all of that's gonna be right there, and what they said. Because if I have to call back, I'm gonna say, "Oh, wait a minute, I talked to so and so. Isn't she
Hmm.
still with your organization?"
Right.
Here's what she said to me. you know,
Hmm.
so you have to be able to make sure that you take responsibility too. So don't
Yes.
just depend on the person gonna call you in for review and say,
Hmm.
"Oh, well, yeah, we're gonna send you to the next level," because a lot of
Hmm.
times that may not happen.
Right.
It might not happen because they,
Hmm.
for whatever reason, don't want to let you go, because
Hmm.
they want to
Hmm.
keep you right where you are, because you're helping them making them look good.
Right. Right. Yeah. I tell you, it's always something.
Yeah.
Always something. And so I know you have a media platform also where
Mhm,
you host the Successful Women TV and radio show every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
mhm.
What story or guest segments have left you speechless on air?
Oh, wow. You know what? I think the one that really is getting me now is the guest I've had. I think maybe two guests on who talked
Mhm.
about what's we know is not going away, and that's the AI stuff.
Okay.
That when they tell you and talk to you about the stuff, that how you can implement it in your business, how you can, the things that you could do with it, that definitely has left me wondering, okay, I really need to learn more. As a matter of fact, I'm taking some training that'll be starting Monday so that I
Okay.
can get a little more familiar with it myself,
Hmm.
because to find out all the stuff that it does and how it can help and what it does. But if you don't know how to use it, it's just,
Yeah.
is kind of a little bit of a waste. You're
Hmm.
letting the world pass you by, because this is
Right.
something that's not going away. But that's one of the things that that has gotten me. But another thing that I really loved was I had the lady on. Her name is Deepa Pashutaru.
Okay.
And I may be butchering her name right now, her
Hmm.
last name, because it was a really odd name. But she was, her book, The First, the Few, and the Only.
Hmm.
That was one of her book was so, oh my goodness, it was just so in line with the stuff that I do, and everything, the women, helping women and doing this, and some of the
Hmm.
things she spoke about that she even experienced.
Mhm.
That was such an eye-opening episode that I always send it out. I always replay it. I always, because like I said, she had such valuable information in it.
Right.
And that's the thing. It's that show, I brought it, created it because I wanted to provide a platform where women could get information, things
Mhm.
to show them, let them see that there are people out there doing what they might want to do, but they
Right.
just might want to be afraid. They may be afraid to do it, may think, oh, well, she's special, so she could do. Well, no, these
Mhm.
people are no special than you are.
You are
If
right.
they did it, you could do it too. And that's what the show
Mhm.
is all about. And so that's why I try to bring on all these resources that will help women to just
Mhm.
push them forward, to let them know that you can do it, to tap into their full potential. And that's pretty much what the platform is all about. The
Mhm.
Successful Women, that's what it's all about.
I
To
love it.
let women know you can do it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Mhm.
and the thing is, I love all of the positive energy that you bring to the table with all of this, as well as, with the TV, the radio, is giving women a lot of tools,
Yeah.
right? To give
Yeah.
them the strength that they need to start, you know, getting into that place, where they can start motivating themselves. And I love that we're interviewing on August the first day
Mhm.
of the month so
Yeah.
that people can see all of this, all of the things that you have to
Absolutely.
offer, all of the gifts you have to offer with the
Mhm.
Executive Women's Success Institute,
Mhm.
as well as making sure y'all tune into her show, Successful Women TV, and the
Mhm.
radio show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it's like you often say that women tap into centers of influence. What does that actually look like day to day for someone with no C-suite contacts yet?
Mhm. Well, I would say that would be you, again, we're going into the network, part of
Hmm.
it. Because
Okay.
when you tap into your center of influence, that's
Hmm.
the people that will support you when you
Hmm.
need that support. If you're not a part of women's organizations, groups that are really other women of like mind, women that's trying to
Hmm.
do the things that you're doing, like for
Hmm.
example, one of the organizations that I am involved in is Sisters for Sisters Network. And let me
Okay.
tell you, this organization of women, when
Hmm.
I say they will support, if you say, hey, I'm having an event, it's gonna be next Saturday at 3
Hmm.
p.m. Those ladies gonna show up and show out to support you, okay?
Wow.
And I mean, and that's what you want.
Is it
Because
a
if I send
global
out a call for sisters, they gonna
hmm
be
Is it a
they
global organization or is it just in your region?
well, they have women. It's in our community, but they
Mhm.
also have women that have left the community and still stay connected and have grown in
Okay.
other areas.
Hmm.
And the thing about it, that this organization is so great that they have even helped sisters to get into political office.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we've
That's
got
nice.
several of them that were a part of the
Hmm.
organization, and so they now reach back and still support the organization, which is good. It's like, oh, I'm there now. I don't need y'all no more. No, they're still in the
Hmm.
organization, supporting the organization with what we do,
Hmm.
and so that's what make me stay so heavily involved with them also. But that's what you need. When I say tap into your centers of influence, you want
Hmm.
women, like I said, when you have to reach out, when
Right.
if I need, like if I say, oh man, I'm trying to find someone who's really good in real estate, and I
Hmm.
just need to figure out who I can go to that's gonna really help me. I could pick
Hmm.
up the phone and call the person that's over that organization. Hey, Peggy, I need, do you know a good real estate agent that I can? Oh, yeah,
Hmm.
give me a second. I'll call you back. Let me tell you, when
Wow.
she connects you with somebody, you connected with that person, and
Hmm.
they do because you're a part of that organization.
Wow.
And that's
And it's
what I
so,
mean. Tap into your center of influence. Mhm.
and believe it or not, Dr. Lewis, that's why I found Tyra's just saying.
There you
People was
go.
constantly calling me, and I actually this whole platform came about in
Mhm.
20, I guess 2010, twenty
Mhm.
eleven.
Mm-hmm.
And people was always asking me, Tyra, you know somebody that can do this, Tyra, you know how, and I'm like,
Me,
oh my God. They would
me,
always, it was like I was the plug. And
right.
so because of that, I was just like, and so
You that
me and my
center,
me
girl. You that
and that's
center.
how it and that's how it started. And me and my coworkers like, you just need to have a blog called Tyra's Just Saying, ha ha ha. And we sat in the office laughing, and it
Hmm.
actually started out a blog
And you
because I
see,
got tired of people asking me stuff. And I'm like, I'll just post it on a blog and I'll tell y'all to go to tyrusjustsaying.com, get all the
right.
information that you need. And
Yes.
everybody started laughing. And I'm like, no, I'm not joking, I'm for real. And
Hmm.
so,
Hmm.
and so as the years went on, I was just like, you know what, Tyrus just saying gonna go into when COVID hit. I was
Center
like, I'm
kind
gonna
of
just
got
take it
bigger
on
as
here.
years have gone on, that center has gotten bigger. And that's the
Yep,
way it works. You plug
yep,
into your center of influence, and that has to be, but again, as you plugging into that center, you also support them too.
yes,
You don't
yep.
get what you need and don't
Hmm.
pour back
Yeah.
in. Hmm.
Yep. My thing is I feel as though everybody's worth promoting, as long as they have viable information. And
Exactly.
that's what Tyra's just saying is all about, is being able to pour into
Absolutely.
all of the people that have come on. I have majority women. I do have some men that have come
Ooh,
on,
me too.
and my thing is just I feel
Mhm.
as though if somebody has enough information out there, let's go
Right.
ahead and promote their business. Let's get things out there. Let's get it started so that everybody can have the conversations and be able to have the resources
The
that they
resources. That's
need.
what it's all about. That's what it's all
That's
about.
exactly that's what it's all about, getting those resources out there. And I think I'm gonna put together a list of networking opportunities as far as other organizations that's out there, so people know that there are other
Yeah,
organizations and groups out there that they can go to
absolutely.
join.
Mhm.
And don't bring your riffraff. Because I gotta stress that, because sometimes people go join this stuff,
Oh,
and Dr. Lewis, like I do, they go hard with their nonsense, and nobody needs it.
no, absolutely. They do not. Do not.
Nobody needs it. So yeah, so I love that though. What section of the country are you?
I am in Maryland, about
Okay.
30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C.
Okay, so you in the DMV. Okay,
Yes.
awesome. I'm in Philly.
Okay, okay. Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Look, we could have did this in person because I could have came down there, but I'll be down there in a couple weeks though. So
Okay, okay. Wow, wow, that
yep,
would be nice. Well, let me
awesome.
make sure you send a little note. Hey, coming through. Come and
I
give me a
sure
shout
will. Look, I sure will, because I said I have interviewed so many people in the DMV. I'm like, I need to get down here and connect with everybody, see what everybody's up to, and bring
out.
everybody together. So I think I might have to start doing some of those. Tyra's just saying connects
I know that's right. I know that's
and bring
right.
everybody
That
into
look,
a room.
center of influence. There you go.
Bring everybody into the room so that they can network and just have a good time.
Mhm,
This is
mhm.
awesome. So let me ask you, how are you prioritizing self-care with early morning workouts and luxury spa breaks? How do you respond to women who feel self-care is nice to have rather than an executive necessity? How are you handling self-care?
Let me tell you, my peace
Hmm.
is always a priority.
I know that's right.
It's always a priority. So, like you said, the 8 a.m. I'm usually I have a workout class at 8 a.m.
Hmm.
And just yesterday I went and had a massage.
Oh,
So
I know that's right.
I always schedule those things. I remember one girl told me I told her, I said, "Oh, I'm going to get my hair washed." She's like, "Didn't you just get your hair washed?" I said, "Yeah, and I'm going again." I
Oh
said,
my
"It is nothing
goodness.
like sitting in that chair letting somebody else wash my hair
Mhm.
while I look at the TV screen." Okay,
Oh, nothing wrong with that. Let me tell you, have you ever got one of those head spa treatments yet?
girl. Look, if there's a spa treatment to be had, all you gotta do. But I have a friend that I travel with. She'll say, "Look, they be wanting to go shopping in the shopping mall. I'm like,
Uh,
go find me a spa. Look, where is the spa? Because I always, whenever I go, I want to go get a spa treatment."
yeah.
Yes, I do. That's why I say it's a priority. My peace of mind is always the priority. My well-being is always a priority.
Yes.
And that's why one of the things I kind of like about being in business too is that
Hmm.
you pretty much can schedule things on your own time. And that's the way
Yes.
I try to keep things. I don't pile myself up to the point where everything is gonna be just cluttered and I don't have
Hmm.
time. I'm rushing to get here, rushing to get there.
Hmm.
No, I don't do.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Just the bottom line is just maintaining that time management.
Exactly.
And that's how I am too. Also, just try to maintain that time management and make sure I keep
Mhm.
everything, according to schedule.
Mhm.
So, yes. What daily ritual keeps your confidence tank full, especially on days when imposter syndrome might knock on the door?
Daily ritual for me, and the first thing I do every morning, I always get up at 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And the first thing, of course, for me is always my praise and my worship. And,
Hmm.
just making sure that I get my mind right, get with
Hmm.
God, get my mind right, get my spirit right, because I feel like whenever you leave out the door, you're
Hmm.
gonna run into all kind of stuff. So I just
Yes.
always want to have myself prepared mentally,
Hmm.
for that type of thing. So for
Right.
me, that would be the daily ritual. I always make sure that that is always how I start my morning.
Okay.
Every morning, 5:30. If you call me at 5:30 in the morning, I'm like, look, now you know that that's not time for me to be talking to you on the phone because I'm talking
Hmm.
to somebody else here.
Right.
You know?
At that time, it better be an emergency.
Yeah, you better be bleeding out of every orifice, okay?
And I better see it too,
Yeah, FaceTime me.
because people be making up stuff
Like that sleep
all the
music,
time.
okay?
Okay, all the time, all the time.
Oh goodness.
This was awesome, Dr. Lewis. Thank you so, so much
Well, thank
for coming on.
you.
Is there anything you would like to promote? Anything you have going on? Any events or anything you would like to promote?
Well, actually, my new book, which is, of course, is it okay if I show it
Yeah,
up?
go ahead. No,
My
show
book,
it.
I don't know if you can see it, Show Up to Rise Up, Explore the Transformative Power of a Successful Mindset. And of
Okay.
course, you can get it's on Amazon. You just put my name in the search box, Dr. Madeline
Hmm.
Ann Lewis, or you could get it on my website, which is has been running across the screen. The shorter version is www.exwsi.com if you want to
Hmm.
not type all that stuff in there. But yeah, that would be the only other thing that I have coming up is I usually do my Show Up to Rise Up webinars that I do. I usually do twice a year. So the next
Okay.
is will be toward in the fall. And I love doing those because I bring in maybe about 20 some speakers on different
Hmm.
topics, and they just talk about different things, which um,
Hmm.
I just love it because they come with some great things and resources for those women out there. So that would be the only other thing that I'd like to let everyone know about.
That is awesome. Yes. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all go to Amazon and purchase Dr. Lewis's book. I know I'm going to be getting a copy and giving a copy away as well to
Thank you.
someone. Whoever watches this show and makes a comment, I will gift a copy of Dr. Lewis's book to them.
All right.
So I said it there. So this way we'll see. We gonna see who all chime in.
There you
It's
go.
only one copy, y'all. Don't go ham on me.
Trying to use no anonymous names, okay?
Yeah, right, right, right.
Using aliases.
Exactly, exactly. But this has been a total pleasure with interviewing you today. Thank you so much. I want to thank
It's
everybody for tuning in to Tyra's Just Saying. Dr. Lewis, you can hold on, and after I end the stream so I can get more information. All
okay.
right, everyone. I want y'all to take care. Have an awesome, awesome day.
Only know I want the best of us. So I